5 interesting graves in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Cheyenne, Wyoming was officially founded right after the American Civil War, making it fairly old compared to other western cities. Given its extensive history and the fact that it's the state's capital, quite a few of Wyoming's notable residents have ended up here in the Lakeview Cemetary. This old cemetery not only boasts the usual amount of creepy crypts and funny last names, but has deep roots in America's frontier heritage. Number 1. The grave of Willie Nickell. The first grave on our list is that of Willie Nickell. This 14-year-old son of sheep ranchers was interred here sometime after he was found shot to death near the gate of his family's Wyoming homestead in 1901. Tom Horn was convicted of the murder of the boy in October of 1902 and hanged there in Cheyenne. Today, some debate about who really killed Willie Nickell remains, and many people still claim to own the rope or pieces of the rope that hang Tom Horn. Number 2. John Portugee Phillips. John Portugee Phillips was at Fort Phil Kearny near Sheridan, Wyoming in 1866 when 82 soldiers from the fort were killed in a battle with native warriors in what became known as the Fetterman Fight or the Battle of the 100 in the Hands. After such a major defeat, inhabitants of the small, isolated fort in the Bighorn Mountains were concerned about further violence. John Phillips volunteered to take the risky 236-mile ride from the place of the battle down to Fort Laramie to give word of what happened. Phillips made the ride in only 4 days, arriving at Fort Laramie after traversing snow and below-zero weather. He gave his message to officials at Fort Laramie late on the evening of Christmas night. Today, Phillips is buried here with many of his family members. Number 3. Unknown grave. This grave, shaped like a dream catcher, is one of the more interesting graves in Cheyenne. In 2003, the body of a Native American woman and a native boy were discovered on the south side of Cheyenne during a construction project. Anthropologists estimated that the bodies dated to the 1800s and that the woman was the boy's grandmother. The unknown bodies were disinterred and placed here in the Lakeview Cemetery. Number 4. The first female governor. Nellie Taylor Ross was the first woman to ever serve as a governor of a U.S. state. Swearing the oath of office in 1924, she worked hard to protect children, minors, and other members of her community. She was also a backer of Prohibition, and would eventually become the director of the U.S. Mint in 1933. Number 5. Green Eyes. This statue is famous not because of who is buried here, but because many late-night visitors to the cemetery have claimed that its eyes glow green in the dark. Some claim that the eyes are covered in a special paint that charges up when your car's headlights hit it, and then glows green after you turn them off. It should be noted that we didn't see any paint on our visit. If you'd like to try the spooky legend, we remind you that the cemetery does close before dark, so your best bet might be to take a guided tour of the cemetery at night sometime, or simply test the legend from the sidewalk. Another thing you might enjoy on your visit to the cemetery in Cheyenne are some of the unique headstones made by people of different ethnicities and races that have called Cheyenne home. Examples include these made by families of members of the Japanese American community, as well as these headstones made by members of the Greek American community. If you're a fan of other scary and frightening things in Wyoming's capital, please check out our other video, 5 Haunted Sites in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Have we forgotten anything? Please let us know in the comments, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you again soon on Travel Highlights.